Let me just say it. Shift happens when you put the habit to ritual instead of a resolution. A resolution is just a statement. It has no backing and no plan to execute. And if you don't got a plan, you don't got an action. It's just that simple. Hi, I'm Maria, otherwise known as the Fit Foodie. I'm a chef, holistic nutritionist, author, inventor, and mom. And I want to welcome you to my podcast. It's called Recipes for Your Best Life. And with every episode, I'm peeling back the onion on fitness, nutrition, health, wellness, and family. The truth is, you're the chef of your life. And for every important pillar, there's a great recipe worth sharing. So every week, we'll explore them together. Think of it as food for thought that you can really sink your teeth into. So join me, and let's squeeze the joy out of this life, because you only get one. Can I get a fork, yeah? Well, friends, 2021 is here. I think everyone was holding their breath for the last month of 2020, right? Just waiting for the page to turn on what was probably one of the most challenging years for mankind as we know it. 2020 will go down as the year of reckoning. At least I see it that way. And it's one that magnified so closely how important it is to really treasure our health. And with that, our lifestyle habits, because our mental well-being, our physical well-being, and everything else depends on it, no matter what life throws at us. Well, now it's time to dust ourselves off and start with a clean slate. But here's a little tough love advice. If you really, you might have a resolution, but if you really want to make shift happen, that resolution that's carried over year over year over year over year, that hasn't come through, that hasn't come to fruition, if you want to make that happen, you got to make change happen. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So make those resolutions happen by making rituals happen. And you need a plan. You need one that's well thought out with steps that are implementable. I know it's a big word, but really we bite off so much and we think that we can accomplish these lofty goals and then we break our own hearts. And there's nothing wrong with a stretch goal. But when you want to accomplish something, you've got to start off with bite-sized changes, bite-sized things that then create a bigger goal. And that is how lifestyle happens. My good friend and health and fitness expert, Lori Corbin, brought it to another level when she talked recently about creating rituals from these habits, which I think is so smart. And it means elevating things to a place where you not only do them regularly, but you do them in a way that is memorable and that feels good. You know, it's so meaningful when you get up in the morning and you have maybe a ritual for drinking that healthy smoothie, rather than just kind of grudgefully making it and getting your greens out and your protein powder. You know, you have a ritual around it where you're listening to music and you're using your favorite glass with your favorite straw, and you have some gratitude around what that glass is going to do for you, that it's going to boost your health, that it's going to feed you, and you do it at your favorite time of the morning. You see what I'm saying? You create a whole feel around it, and then it takes it from just being a habit to a ritual that you look forward to. And those feel good things, that's what science tells us changes behavior. Because when subjects were studied, anxiety was reduced when they created a ritual rather than a routine. Consistency was maintained. You might want to exercise more, drink less, or lose weight, or your goals might be more focused on starting a new career or moving to a new location or cultivating a new skill, like maybe playing an instrument. But if there isn't joy around the ritual created to make this a habit, it's really easy to ditch week 2 of January. And I can tell you, you have to practice a certain amount of time every single day to make these rituals regular. But if that just seems like a chore and you're not getting the joy out of it that you want, then it's time to take a look at what your ritual looks like. So let's go back to the stretch goals for a second. Let me just underscore, because I don't want you for a minute to think I'm discouraging it. Let me just underscore that when you push yourself further than normal, that is a wonderful thing to strive for. But if it's the only thing that you're striving for and you come up short, guess what? You're going to beat yourself up. But if I tell you drink 1 more glass of water a day, or I tell you try to eat 1 green vegetable a day, and that is going to help you work towards your stretch goal of losing XYZ pounds, that is achievable. In fact, sometimes the stretch goals don't really make sense. I coached a person who wanted to lose 30 pounds. And when I asked her how she came up with that number, she answered that it was what she weighed when she graduated from college. And at the time I was coaching her, she was 48. Look, I'm not saying that it couldn't be done, but a goal of where you were, like 30 years prior, it's tough. It's tough. And it may be unattainable. But if your goal is to feel better in your genes, it's to have more energy to run around with your kids or your grandkids. And instead of just making it about dieting, you're really embracing this whole eating to thrive concept. That is when shift happens. Let me just say it. Shift happens when you put the habit to ritual instead of a resolution. A resolution is just a statement. It has no backing and no plan to execute. And if you don't got a plan, you don't got an action. It's just that simple. It's that simple with everything in life. As an entrepreneur, I start out every year with a SWOT analysis. I look at our strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats. And that's the dashboard from which we craft our strategy for the year. It's not about what just feels good. Oh, I want to make $10 million this year. Okay, well, how the heck are you going to get there if you're only doing 3 million now, right? Just hypothetically speaking, there's got to be a plan behind it. So I think for me, it's about being a person that shows up for my family, for my friends, for my loved ones. It's impossible to get where you want to go if you're always fighting yourself or you're always judging yourself for coming down on yourself. And if you flip the script a little bit and you think about 2020 as being the year of acceptance, accepting who we are and who we were created to be, with or without the current circumstances around us, I think we'll all be a whole forking lot happier. So with that, I want to share 7 simple tips to help you start the year on the right fork. Hey, that's what I do. It's the right fork. And your job is simply this, to come up with a ritual around the habit so that it makes it a fun and a happy place for you. Instead of gulping down your oatmeal in the morning, maybe you're setting up some overnight oats the night before and you're taking your mason jar and you're layering it with unsweetened shredded coconut and fresh blueberries and some flaxseed. And you put it in the refrigerator and you're excited because you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to have that and you're going to power up and you're going to listen to your favorite podcast. Hopefully it's this one. and you're going to sit in your favorite comfy chair, or your favorite part of the house. Maybe it's with your favorite person or your animal, or maybe it's just in peace and quiet because that's how you want to start the day. And then you've shifted and you've taken a healthy habit, which there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but you've created a ritual around it that you look forward to, that makes you feel good. And when you can achieve that day in and day out and celebrate those small wins, man, that will move mountains. It just makes such a big difference. So these simple habits, one a day, and before you know it, you're making all kinds of new things come to life in just a week. 7 new habits, one a day under your belt. And before you know it, you will accomplish so much more in 2021 than you ever thought you could. So with that, I also want to really encourage you to join my Eat to Thrive program right now, today. Don't delay, because this is what we're going to go through in depth. It will help to rewire your taste buds and cut the cravings. It'll help to teach you how to learn to eat like you give a fork. And that's exactly why you're here. You're also going to get a hardcover copy of my #1 new release book, Eat Like You Give a Fork, The Real Dish on Eating to Thrive. And guess what? You're going to get all that for the very small sum of $29. Yes, I have substantially reduced the cost of this program for a very limited time. So by the time you listen to this, it may or may not be up. I'm just saying, you got to run and get it quickly and sign up today at eatcleaner.com. Have you ever wondered, is rinsing my produce with the water that comes out of the sink that I don't even drink enough to really clean it? Well, then you're one of the smartest people I know, because you're absolutely right. It's not enough. That's why we created the only all-natural and patented line of food wash and wipes, and it's called Eat Cleaner. It's tasteless, odorless, and lab tested, and it removes up to 99.9% of the residue that water can't, including pesticides, wax, soil, and junk that can carry bacteria that can really make you sick. Plus, we formulated it to help extend the shelf life of your fresh produce too, and that'll save you money. When your berries are lasting up to 10-12 days, you know that's a good thing. It helps your produce last up to 5 times longer using a natural blend of fruit acids and antioxidants. So there's no chemicals. It's just clean eating fun. And this can help save your family an average of over $500 per year. Make it easy on yourself, reduce waste, and get that fruit and veggies into your body, where it's going to do you a lot of good and not in the trash. Check us out, eatcleaner.com, or head to our Amazon store at amazon.com/eatcleaner. I know I can help you crush your goals because food is just the gateway, but it's an important gateway. And when you get this part of your life figured out, you will see what opens up for you. I guarantee it because it happened to me. Now, before I even mention one habit, I want you to think about this: the pantry purge. Yes, I always say don't get caught with your pantry down. I know it's a little cheeky, but bear with me for a second because this one is maybe one of the most critical things you will do to start eating like you really want to give a fork. The pantry purge is taking a look at what you've got in your pantry and also in your fridge and getting rid of the things that don't serve you. I mean, if it's in there and it's staring you in the face every time you open the door and it's tempting you because it's full of sugar and calories and empty calories and crunchiness and all of the things we just love, that's brutal. That's just too much willpower to try and muster up every day. And life is hard enough when all you want to do is eat French fries in duck fat and a double-double. You know what I'm saying? Or you see the Thin Mints in the back of the pantry, and you know it's just talking to you in the middle of the night. It's whispering, "Eat me." It's just not fair. It's not.